you guys. So today we're learning about the animals. We've been learning about habitats. We've learned about the desert habitat. We've learned about the savanna, which also is, does anyone remember the other word for savanna?
Grasslands.
Grasslands. We've learned about the deciduous forest, and today we're going to learn about the tropical rainforest. So Ms. Ramirez is going to hand this paper out. Miss Corey, can you help me? And this just asks a simple 3 questions. And I want you to answer to the best of your ability, just so I can know what you all, if you know anything about the tropical rainforest. So get your pencils out. And the first question, everybody put your name on the top.
Kathleen Fields, come to the office.
Okay, I'm going to put it on the board. There we go. Can everybody see that? So I want you to follow along with Ms. Ramirez, please. So, our first question asks, what is a rainforest like? Circle 1. Do you think a rainforest is hot and wet? Or do you think a rainforest is cold and dry? Just circle whatever you think it is. Do you think a rainforest is hot and wet? So you would circle that if you think it's hot and wet, or you would circle cold and dry if you think it's cold and dry. It's okay if you don't know. You're not going to get in trouble if you get it right or wrong.
So cold.
Do you think a rainforest is hot and wet, or do you think a rainforest is cold and dry? Okay, circle that. Okay, good. Okay. Has everyone answered number 1? Okay. Let's move along. So, the second question. Which animals live in the rainforest? Circle the animals that belong. So we have a monkey, we have a polar bear, we have a toucan, a camel, a jaguar, and a shark. Circle which animals you think live in the rainforest.
They can circle more than one, right?
They can circle more than one, yes. So if you think a monkey lives in the rainforest, then you circle monkey.
So I can circle.
Now we know where polar bears live. We learned in the Arctic habitat, yes. You can circle more than one. Okay. Okay, looking good, yeah. Good job. Okay, I think we're ready to move on to question number 3. And this is our last question. We're going to move on to our story. Number 3, everybody with me. Which part of the tree gets most sunlight? So it's asking, which part of the tree do you think gets most sunlight? Do you think the top of the tree gets most sunlight? Do you think the middle of a tree gets the most sunlight? Or do you think the ground gets the most sunlight in a rainforest? You can check, like the check mark, or you can put an X in the box right here beside whichever one you think. Top of the tree, in the middle of the tree, or on the ground.
So the ones that we don't think that we can put an X in them.
If you want to do it that way, that's okay. But just mark the box that you think gets the most sunlight. Okay. It's okay. You just do your best. But we're going to learn about it today, so if you don't know, in a minute, we might figure it out. Okay, once you're done, you can hold them up in the air and I'll come grab them. And Miss Cora will come grab them. Thank you. Oh, put your name on it. Done? Thank you. Okay, now I want everybody to put your pencils back and come and get in your learning spots. Quietly, please. Okay. What did everybody think about those questions? Are we excited to learn about the tropical rainforest?
Yeah.
I'm excited too. Come on, Riley. You can come get in the front right here in front of Elsie. So like Mr. Ramirez said, we're going to be learning of the animals of the tropical rainforest habitat. So our learning goals are: I can review characteristics of the temperate deciduous forest habitat. I can explain how the tropical rainforest habitat is similar to the deciduous forest habitat. And I can demonstrate an understanding of the word canopy. And I can identify and use the conjunction but. I can write about characteristics of the tropical rainforest habitat. So, our vocabulary is, our first word is canopy. Everybody say canopy.
Canopy.
A canopy is the top layer of the forest that is formed by the branches and leaves at the top of the trees. So an example of a canopy is the canopy of the forest has shades the plants, the canopy of the forest shades the plants and animals below. So that's like a canopy. Next one, colonies. Everybody say colonies. Colonies is a group of the same kind of animals or plants living and growing all together. Next word is humid. Everybody say humid. Humid means having wetness in the air. So have you all ever been outside before and it just got done raining and it's kind of warm outside and it just feels sticky and just nasty? Derek, you've felt that before? I have too. Stalk. Our next word is stalk. Everybody say stalk.
Stop.
Stalk means to follow in a slow, quiet way in order to hunt or catch a prey. Okay. So we are going to start. Does anyone know what the equator is? What is the equator?
Think really hard back to when we learned about dinosaurs. We learned about the equator. Do you remember?
Do you see that white line? Everybody look at the globe. Do you see this white line? That is the equator. That's like the center of the earth. Okay? So, in our tropical rainforest, listen carefully to learn about one example of a tropical rainforest, the Amazon rainforest. And the yellow part right there, we're going to be learning about the Amazon rainforest. Has anyone ever heard of the Amazon rainforest before, maybe? Like in a movie or show or even at school? Okay. So, here's our friend, Rattenborough. Hello there. Rattenborough reporting from a fascinating habitat. A habitat that has the greatest variety of plants and animals of any habitat on Earth. Welcome to the tropical rainforest. Tropical places are warm and wet. A rainforest is a thick forest of plants that stay green all year round. So a tropical rainforest is a warm, wet, thick forest of plants and places around the world that are close to the equator. But the one we are visiting today is called the Amazon rainforest. It is in South America and it is the largest rainforest on Earth. The Amazon rainforest is so dense or thick that a rat like me could easily get lost. The plants in the tropical rainforest are thick because there are so many plants growing close together. It's also very hot and humid. There's one of our vocabulary words, humid here. The temperature is always very warm and it rains heavily all year round. So in our pre-assessment, what kind of weather is it? Hot and wet or cold and dry? Hot and wet. Yeah, it's humid. So, he says, my fur is feeling very wet and sticky, and it's a good thing that I brought my umbrella. There are between 80 and 240 inches of rainfall here every year. That makes this one one of the wettest places you can find on land.
That's a lot of rain, guys.
That is a lot of rain. So here's an image of a jungle. So temperate deciduous forests, which you learned about last week, have broadleaf trees that lose all their leaves in the fall. Well, and the Amazon rainforest also has these broadleaf trees, but the main difference is that these trees here stay green all year long. The evergreen trees in this tropical rainforest replace their leaves gradually throughout the year and as the leaves fall and age, so that the trees always look green and they never have bare branches like the trees in a deciduous forest. And because of the climate here is the same all year round, plants do not need to slow down for winter or weather or hibernate like we've learned in some of our other habitats or gather food. So all the animals that live here always have a good supply of food all year round. So this is a picture, and Rattenborough says this is a rainforest canopy. So remember, our canopy is like the top layer of something, okay? Take a look around. The trees in the rainforest are so tall that they grow as tall as 13-story buildings. Gosh, that's tall.
Very tall.
And as tall as very, very tall buildings in large cities like New York City or Chicago, all them big tall skyscrapers, trees can get that big. I'm standing in a tree right now, and as you can see, the trees grow so thickly and closely together here that from above you can only see a canopy of thick green leaves. You can't see the forest floor at all. Can anyone see the floor right now? The ground floor of the forest?
No.
I can't either.
I can
In a tropical rainforest, the canopy is the top layer of the forest formed by the branches and leaves at the top of the trees. Because the sunlight can't get through this canopy of leaves, everything under them is really dark. I brought a flashlight to help me see down here. The plants in the Amazon rainforest have adapted to this climate in many different ways. Can anyone tell me what the word adapted means? Raise your hand if you remember what adapted means.
Can I give them some examples?
You can give some examples.
Okay. Think about the Arctic and how we had animals that had blubber. What did the blubber help them do?
survive.
Stay what?
Warm.
Okay. Think about Ooh, let's think about the savanna. Okay, think about the cactus. What does the cactus store? It stores water. That's an adaptation. So think about those things, and then I want you to think about what an adaptation is. An adaptation is something that helps a plant or an animal live
And survive.
Yeah.
So we make changes to our environment. Let's see where Mr. Maris is at. Many of plants have waxy leaves with ends that are tapered or get smaller near the ends. You see how this leaf starts out a little thicker and then at the end it gets a little pointy. So these leaves are tapered or get smaller at the ends to help water drip off of them, like the water running off your umbrella. So this is a picture of vines in the rainforest. Many types of vines grow in the rainforest. Vines are climbing plants that grow on trees or wind themselves around tree trunks. Many animals use the vines growing among the trees, almost like sidewalks or ladders to cross from tree to tree. The rainforest floor is a very shady place, which means it is a good habitat for moss and fungi that don't need much sunlight. If you can believe it, there are even some plants that don't need any light at all. Can you believe that? They don't even need any sunlight. Some plants. They grow on the forest floor and get energy from the rotting leaves instead of the sunlight. Ooh. Okay. This is a kapok tree. Rattenborough says, I'm way up in a particular type of tree found in the Amazon rainforest called kapok. So high that you won't be able to see me. The kapok tree is one of the tallest trees around. The kapok has a very long trunk, and its branches and leaves form a canopy over the plants and animals below, making it a good shelter for animals like birds and snakes and monkeys. Ooh, does anyone recognize these animals?
Yes. I see.
Lucas?
That's a tree frog.
Is that a tree frog? It looks like a tree frog. JT, what do you see?
I see. What are those called again?
The black one?
No, the other one. Parrots. And a toucan.
A toucan. Good job, Kingston. Okay, let's read and see what these animals are. So let's see. There are also many different kinds of animals that call the Amazon rainforest home. Many types of interesting and colorful birds, frogs, insects, reptiles, and other animals that live in the trees and other plants of the tropical rainforest. These huge toucans use their large beaks to cut fruit from branches and eat lizards, as well as other birds. So this toucan over here on the right uses its beak to cut fruit from branches, so it helps get food. Its beak does. Macaws, which is a kind of parrot, the red one is called a macaw, which are a kind of parrots. These parrots travel in groups and use their hooked beaks to break into hard nuts and fruits. Then, and you don't want to get too close to the poison arrow frog, which has a poisonous skin to protect it from predators. Wow. So the frog uses its poisonous skin to keep safe from predators. Ooh. I'm back in a kapok tree, one of the very tallest trees in the forest, to see what kind of animals call this habitat home. Over there, I see a squirrel monkey. The squirrel monkey is a very friendly little animal, and it shares lots of things in common with the squirrels that live in the temperate deciduous forest, like we learned about last Friday. The squirrel monkey is very small and has a very long, thin tail that uses it to help it balance. Do you see its tail, how long it is? So this monkey uses its tail to help it balance and it has very strong legs and uses it to jump and run, and claws that help it climb up and down trees. In fact, squirrel monkeys are so good at traveling by leaping and running along branches that they hardly ever touch the forest floor. So, let's check. I have a question for you. What is a habitat? I'm going to use my popsicle sticks to pull out a name. And the question is, what is a habitat?
While she's picking a stick, you guys be thinking, what is a habitat?
Lilith? So we've been learning all about different habitats. You could say, what is a habitat?
What is a habitat? Do you remember some of the things a habitat has, Lilith?
Does it have to have food? Food and maybe water and animals? So a habitat is a place where plants and animals that live that has food, water, and shelter. Everybody say, food, water, and shelter.
Food, water, shelter.
Okay. So this squirrel monkey is an omnivore. Miss Ramirez forgot what an omnivore is. Can anyone tell me what omnivore is? Kingston?
It eats plants and meat.
It eats plants and meat. Good job. Give me a high five.
What does it eat meat for?
Awesome.
Awesome. Plants and animals. So an animal that eats plants and other animals. It eats insects, fruits, and flowers and spends most of its time during the day moving around the forest to find food. So this squirrel monkey has excellent eyesight, which is useful for finding small insects, fruits, and berries growing among the trees and the leaves of the tropical rainforest. Squirrel monkeys live in very large groups, making it harder for their predators like eagles and snakes to get them. Now, this monkey is acting a little strange, and experience has told me that this kind of behavior usually means there's trouble on the way. Aha, yes, look who's coming. Some kind of snake. Snakes also tend to eat rats, so I'm going to climb a little bit higher to take a look from a distance. Ooh. Look, this snake. Wow, look at the size of this snake. This is a boa constrictor, one of many kinds of snakes that live in the Amazon rainforest. It's a pretty big snake, and this one is about 13 feet long. So that's like me and Miss Corey on top of each other, and maybe even a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
So this snake is really, really long. So boa constrictors can have slightly different color changing patterns or repeated shapes or designs on their skin, but they are well camouflaged in the trees, plants, and vines in most of the forest. Does anyone remember what camouflage means? Can someone tell me? Kingston?
It means that you blend in with
Mm-hmm.
your surroundings.
Good job. You're blending in with your surroundings. Yes. So, this boa constrictor, like all snakes, is a carnivore, which means they only eat other animals and only eat meat. So, its favorite animals it eats other animals such as bats, which are its favorite food, rodents, yes, like me, lizards, birds, and even other small squirrel monkeys. This boa constrictor is mostly nocturnal. So when something is nocturnal, it only comes out at nighttime when it's getting dark, like about now. Snakes can eat animals that are much bigger than they are. This boa's jaws open very, very wide, so that when it finds an animal to eat, Even animals such as birds and squirrel monkeys, it'll be able to swallow it whole. So this snake, when it gets ready to eat something, its jaws get really, really wide, so it swallows it whole. It don't chew it up. It eats all at the same time.
It can eat a chicken.
Yeah,
Whole.
I'm
Can
sure
it
it
eat
can.
Big squirrel.
Yeah, it just said it. It sounds like it.
Can it eat a camel?
The
Let's think, are there
camel.
camels in the rainforest? So is it gonna eat a camel? Probably not.
Oh wow, look at this. The boa constrictor is not the only carnivore in the rainforest. In fact, it will have to watch out that it doesn't become dinner for a hungry jaguar like this one. Jaguars look a lot alike like leopards. They have tan fur with dark spots, but they are bigger than leopards with shorter tails and legs and bigger heads and paws. This jaguar is about 7 feet long and probably weighs about 200 pounds. Jaguars are very well adapted to living in the rainforest. They have very sensitive hearing and an excellent sense of smell. A jaguar can see very well during the day and at night. All these things make it easier for it to find and stalk, which is another one of our vocabulary words, which means to follow in a slow and quiet way, to hunt or catch something. I can barely hear the jaguar moving through the forest. That's because its paws are covered in a very thick fur with pads on the bottom. Because they can travel so quietly, jaguars do not have to run far to catch their prey. So instead of having long legs for running, they have short, strong legs that are good for pouncing or suddenly attacking other animals from the ground or from the trees or in the water. A jaguar spends most of its day resting and goes out to hunt at night. It is also very good at climbing trees, which means I should get out of here before it's able to sniff me out. Ooh. These are leafcutter ants. These ants burrow underground and make nests in groups called colonies. Different ants in the colony have different responsibilities. There are worker ants, soldier ants, and their queen. The worker ants are traveling to the kapok tree nearby where they will use their sharp jaws to bite off pieces of the leaves to bring back to the nest. Did you know that ants can carry up to 10 times of their own body weight? That's pretty amazing, isn't it? The soldier ants are there to protect worker ants, so it's like their bodyguard. These ants spend most of their lives working for food. Well, it's really quite dark now, and my fur has been sticking to me since we got here. I think it's about time to leave the hot and humid Amazon rainforest. We've learned a lot about this exotic habitat and its climate and the plants and animals that have their homes here. Now, for somewhere really different. Okay, so Mr. Ramirez is going to do this. We're going to learn or talk about our vocabulary word canopy. So, in the story, we learned about the canopy. A canopy, which is the top layer of the forest formed by branches and leaves at the top of the trees. So, have you ever seen a canopy out in real life? If so, where? Let's see. So, I'll give you an example. So, when you go in maybe like a gas station or like in the school, when we're coming into school and the roof is covering the sidewalk, that can be like a canopy of some sort. So let's think in our brain and come up with some other examples of a canopy that you may see in your everyday life. Let's think.
I have some ideas.
Ooh, Miss Corey has some ideas. Kingston, what are you thinking?
Like the top of a classroom.
What'd you say?
The top of a classroom.
I guess you could kind of consider that a canopy. I'm thinking about when you go to the beach or the pool during the summer. Morgan, Miss Corey doesn't love that. And specifically the beach. You take one of those big tents and you put a tent up and you sit under it while you're at the beach.
And it provides shade.
That's a canopy.
That's a canopy. So we're gonna do a little activity. I'm gonna give you all some choices. Boys, can you turn around and get on the carpet and face me, please? Okay, so we're gonna do a activity. I'm going to name 2 different things. And you are gonna say, that is like a canopy or that is not a canopy, okay? So, the first one, there is a roof on the front porch. Okay, 2 things. The first thing, the roof on a front porch or the floor of a house. Which one is the canopy? The roof on the front porch or the floor of a house? Everybody can say it together. The roof on the front porch. Do you think that's a canopy? Yes. Okay. Okay, so which one is a canopy? A tent or a doormat?
A tent.
A tent, yes. Okay, let's see. Is tree roots or tree branches and leaves a canopy? Is the tree root at the bottom of the tree a canopy or is the branches and leaves a canopy?
Branches and leaves.
Branches and leaves. Okay, what about, should be an easy one. Everybody say this answer. Is an umbrella a canopy or is rain boots a canopy? Umbrella. Good job. Okay, so now I want everybody to go back to your seats and get your pencil out.
I don't know the answer to that, JT. I am so sorry. They are cute.
So, we're going to do this activity before our habitat journal first, okay? So, Ms. Ramirez is going to hand this sheet out.
Do I give me one and you can go?
Oh, yeah. And once everybody's got one, then I will explain the directions. Okay. And we may get started on this and not have time to finish, but that's okay. So,
I know what this is. Wait, listen for directions. Mr. Maris will tell you.
okay, so everybody has, Avery, can I see this sheet, please? So everybody has to sort the animals, okay? So, on the right side is where you're gonna put your rainforest animals. And then on the left side, we talked about desert animals. So you'll have to use your knowledge and your brain to remember what kind of animals lived in the desert habitat. I can give you one maybe like a camel lived in the desert, okay? And then we learned about the birds that poke on the cactus. Okay, so we have the pictures here and the spelling of the animal. So I can help you. So let's see, for the rainforest animal, what was one animal that we just learned about? Can you say it? A toucan? A toucan. So yeah, so a toucan would go under the rainforest animals. We don't have time to cut and glue, or we would. So if you want to just write the animal name in the under the rainforest box. Yep, just like that, Madison. So we said a toucan would live in the rainforest. So copy toucan and put it under here, okay?
And what can I draw?
If you're done and you want to draw a picture, you can, but let's list all the animals first. Ooh, I know one that would go under the desert. Maybe a rattlesnake. Yes, we learned about the rattlesnakes.
Do I have to draw? Never mind. I'm putting the desert one's eggs in the.
Oh, okay.
I love that handwriting there. It's all.
Keep going right down.
Keep going, Sissy Bug. You're doing so good. I'm gonna need some help, buddy. What can I do for you? We're gonna put desert animals here, rainforest animals.
And you all can write in that gray box. It's just the printer did it, so you can write in all the boxes. You don't have to skip one. Yes, Shakti.
Do we just write frog instead of the whole sentence?
You can, or you can just write tree frog right there instead of red-eyed tree
Oh,
frog.
that's the one. I thought I got you I can take an adult and this thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Now start copying it over. Now, look at your animals. What do you think? What else do you think lives in the Amazon rainforest? What did we learn about today? What about this one? Did we learn about a jaguar today? Yeah? Okay, so put it under rainforest animals. Yes. I think they do. Yeah.
Stay focused.
A desert tortoise. Where do you think that lives? A desert tortoise. Lives in the desert, yeah. Got it, Roman?
Guys, whose lunchbox is this? JT, is this yours? Rowan, is it yours?
No, I don't have it.
Is it, did you bring a Sonic lunchbox today?
Yep.
No, keep working. Just trying to get ahead of things.
Good job.
So where does a rattlesnake live?
A rattlesnake? We learned about rattlesnakes when we done the deserts. We learned about a boa constrictor today, but a rattlesnake would live in the desert. Which one? Do you need help reading? Rattlesnake. Where do you think a rattlesnake would live?
Rattlesnake.
Turkey sandwiches and mashed potatoes. In every country's.
Okay, guys. We're getting ready to go to lunch, so if you want to get a good stopping point so we can line up,